Hi, second grade. Miss B here, coming from my house to do a little STEM story time with you at home. I hope everyone's doing well. I miss each and every one of you, and I can't wait to be back in the media center with you soon. So, what I want to do today is share a story with you about a famous woman in the world of STEM. STEM, of course, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And today we're going to look at a book called The Girl with a Mind for Math, The Story of Ray Montague. And this is a true story. It's written by Julia Finley Mosca and illustrated by Daniel Riley. And speaking of illustrations, if you can see in the top corner, there is a picture of a special kind of boat called a submarine. And we're going to see quite a few of them in the story. If you're not sure what a submarine is, it's a special kind of boat that can swim on the top of the water, just like we see here. But what's special about submarines is that they can actually go down under the water and swim around under the water. And we're going to try to make a submarine in a little bit ourselves. So let's take a look at our story. The Girl with a Mind for Math, the story of Ray Montague. And I already see a bunch of submarines there. I couldn't even count up that many. That's a lot. And let's get started. As I'm turning to the first page, I do want to give you a little heads up. A lot of you have heard me talk about my dog Scout in the media center. So from time to time during the story, you might hear a little bark or two. So if you do hear that, that's just Scout in the background, hopefully enjoying the story as well. So here we go. If there's something you want, but it seems out of reach, here's a story for you, a great truth it will teach. When you focus your mind, you'll succeed through and through, like one bold engineer by the name Montague. Can you tell that this is a rhyming book? In a state we call Arkansas, one winter day, a baby was welcomed, a girl they call Ray. She was bright as a star, super smart from the start. She was headstrong, this child, and not faint of heart. Yes, this girl had potential. Her granddad was proud. He told her, work hard, you'll stand out from the crowd. Then something she cherished, when Ray was just 7, he took her to see her first ship. It was heaven. A real submarine, her eyes opened wide. Who made it, she asked, as they followed the guide. Engineers, said the man, giving Ray's head a pat. But my dear, you don't need to know all about that. At the time, the man's insult went over her head. No, you can't, were the words he had meant, but not said. Engineering, thought Ray, and her life's dream began, except most people laughed when she told them her plan. Stay strong, said her mom. Use your brains. You'll be fine. There will always be people who pay you no mind. Just because you're a girl and because you are black, don't let them or the state of your school hold you back. You see, schools in those days were what's called segregated. The black and white students were kept separated. That's wrong, you exclaim. It was dismal, no fooling. And most of all, white kids receive better schooling. But Ray studied hard. She had grit. She taught herself. She was gifted in math, and she read books by the shelf. When the time came for college, she knew what to choose. She'd learn to build boats, but she got some bad news. Engineering's not taught to black students, they said. Her heart hit the floor. I'll take business instead. She'd learn what she could, and she'd learn the rest later. Their rules were unjust, but that school wouldn't break her. Ray finished with honors. Oh boy, what a smarty. She said her farewells. There was no time to party. I'm off to a place filled with history's greats, the capital city of all 50 states. Now finding a job, it turned out that took time. She looked and she looked. Ray was not one to whine. Then it must have been fate. At least that's what it seems. She was hired to type where they built submarines. Now notice, of course, this book took place a while ago, a long time ago. So they didn't have computers back then. She's using a typewriter to type. The Navy, that's right. Oh, but hold all your cheers. Ship designing was only for trained engineers. So she watched as they worked and she learned every task. She even studied computers by night in a class. Now look at what computers looked like back then. A lot different from your Chromebooks, aren't they? Then her big break arrived. The whole staff got the flu. Ray did all of her work and the engineers too. Her boss was in shock. How, he exploded? From memory, said Ray, and with that she got promoted. Life should have been swell, yet that wasn't the case. Her boss treated her poorly because of her race. Many people, like him, tried to make her feel small, but Ray just held her head high and she outworked them all. What next? From the White House, there came a command. The president ordered a ship. Make it grand. And quickly, he added. Well, that didn't fly. All those plans would take engineers months to supply. But here's the thing about that. When designing a boat, there are thousands of measurements one needs to note. Now, all those numbers take math, and that takes some time. But Ray had been working on something sublime. So she's been working on something great. She took a deep breath. I can solve this, she said. I've come up with a system to do it better instead. I'll draw the plans faster, she told them. Don't fret. I'll design the first ship by computer. No sweat. So Ray was doing something no one had ever done before, designing what a ship would look like by using a computer to do it. How long do you think that might take? What's your guess? Would it take her a month? Maybe weeks for success? Well, it took calculations and tons of caffeine. Do you see her cups of coffee in the picture? But Ray finished in hours, just over 18. So it only took her 18 hours to design a ship. Her program, it worked. All the blueprints were done. The ship was constructed. The engineers stunned. You did it, they cheered. And her boss had to say that her quick mind for math had in fact saved the day. The end? No, not quite. When Ray's ship was unveiled, only white men could go. And Ray's invite? Not mailed. Say what? You heard right. No invite? Horrible. In fact, some people would say it was downright deplorable. So this beautiful ship that she had designed and planned, she wasn't allowed to go to the party to unveil it. It's not fair, is it? Yet Ray kept her cool. She gave her best every day. And in time, all her skills were applauded. Hooray! People learned of her work. Who's this Ray? They would demand. And when they met her, they stared. They expected a man. Yes, that happened a lot. Many could not believe that a woman of color did all she'd achieved. Some even thought Ray was a maid. Sad but true. When they ordered a drink, she would say, bring me one too. All of her humor and wits served her well through the years as she battled the hard times with laughs and not tears. And that boss in the Navy, who'd been so unkind, made Ray the first woman to lead ship design. More honors would follow. Her fame picked up steam, and finally, at last, she had accomplished her dream. That title she worked for, an engineer, score. Now the world knows her feats. She is hidden no more. So it says Ray Montague, engineer. So the lesson to all is don't ever give in. Take a chance. Rock the boat. If it sinks, you can swim. When a storm comes your way, hold your course and don't stress. Never quit. And like Ray, propel straight to success. And our story finishes with the note from the real Ray Montague, because I do want to remind you, this was a true story. She says, "Dear reader, if you have a dream like I did, study hard and stay focused. Always remember that just because someone says you can't, that doesn't have to stop you. You might have to go in a different direction, and it might take you a little longer, but you can all achieve your dreams." Ray Montague. So on my website, there is a video about Ray Montague that you can watch. It's only about 3 minutes long. There's also a video teaching you step by step how to draw a submarine, like the ones Ray loves so much. But I have a little STEM challenge for you guys. Something I want you to try at home if you can. So here's what I need you to do. You're gonna try to make your own submarine using a plastic bottle, a water bottle, a soda bottle, any bottle you can get a hold of. You can take a marker and decorate it. I added some windows along the side of it. And then you need a big bowl of water. And your job is to try and turn this into a submarine. Now, if you just put it on top of the water, it's just gonna float. It's so light. But we wanna get it to sink like a submarine does, but not to go all the way to the bottom and touch the bottom. So what you need to do is find maybe some marbles, some pennies, anything you can around the house, and that's gonna weigh down your submarine. So maybe you wanna start with 10 of marbles or pennies. So let me put in 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You're gonna put it in. You're gonna kind of wanna have the marbles or pennies or whatever you're using spread out. So if they're all down like this, then of course it's just gonna sink this way. So you wanna spread them out and drop it in the water. Have it start to fill up with water and see if you can get it to sink. But you don't want it to go all the way to the bottom. You have to find that kind of spot in the middle. You might need to add more marbles or pennies. You might need to take some away. So while I'm playing around with this to find the exact number of marbles I need, I want you guys to give it a try. I hope you liked our story today about Ray Montague. We'll have more STEM story times up on Miss B's website over the next couple of weeks. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.